I have been working on this Puppet automation tool for last 4 years, and I have a total 6 year of IT industries experience, and mostly on the Linux
Mm-hmm.
platform and the automation. And I am be conducting this
Mm-hmm.
kind of training for last 1 year as a corporate, as an individual level
Mm-hmm.
of training. So this all about me. So
Okay. Yeah. Afro, so myself Priya Ranjan, and I'm working in Microsoft Limited as a middleware administrator. So working on JBoss Apache Tomcat technology. So I'm not familiar with the Puppet as a whole, but my company is introducing the Puppet technology for automation and all those things. So that's why I'm looking for Puppet training.
okay, so you have a good knowledge over the
So,
Linux, right? As you said, you have a working on a JBoss and Tomcat.
uh,
So
yeah, Linux. I'm good enough. Good enough. Yeah, fine. Yeah, I'm comfortable with the Linux. No problem.
that's great. So how means how can we approach like so for that for a more hands-on and more practicing, so it's better to have a two VM from your side as well. I do have a setup here,
Mm-hmm.
but that does not make any
Mm-hmm.
sense, doing myself and just you being a watcher or watching it, right? So it's better to set up the VM from your side, your end, so that
Mm-hmm.
you can do the
Mm-hmm.
much hands-on, because it's all depends on the hands-on
Okay.
and practicing, right?
Okay.
So do we have a setup, or how we can proceed? I mean, do you have a laptop? You already have a VMs or not?
Yeah, I have, and Linux Red Hat 6 version is there. Yeah.
So how many VM you have currently?
One only. Yeah.
So do you have? Are you using a laptop or I mean desktop?
A laptop.
A laptop. So, so what I can guide you, I can give you a couple of software. I mean, you need to download those software and you keep install those.
Mm-hmm.
So can we set up the two virtual box with the Vagrant, the software called a Vagrant. So we set up the box first.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
how good your internet is, because it might be around 1 or 1.5 GB of software download.
Mm-hmm. It's good, not a problem, but it will take time, I think so. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so what I suggest you, I can give you I mean docs to how to, set up that, or it will be good that if you make a software gets ready, I can give you the software version as well. Get this
Mm-hmm.
software, and I'll help you in the setup the uh, that lab first rather than going this, before going to any details of a puppet. How it sounds for you?
Mm. I think it would be good if you can give me some basic idea of Puppet, like how can we to do the automations and all those things in middleware technology especially. So that will be
Yeah,
good for me as of now.
correct. Great, great. So I'll be doing the same thing. I'll be going to, tell you about the depth of the Puppet automation and how does it works. So that's great. So what about the working, I mean, weekdays? So are you only looking for a weekend or weekdays as well?
Let's see. I need to check. Like I'm working in shifts, so that is the problem. So I need to check the correct time. So either like weekend will be good for me, or I think weekend will be good for me. I think so, or afternoon. And if you are okay with the afternoon shifts, then it's fine for me.
No,
Because
no,
between 12 to 3,
afternoon.
I will be free sometimes.
No, no, afternoon.
Uh,
I have office. I'm working in a regular shift. So
Yeah, because for me it's timing is like around 4:30 to like till 2:30 is my office timings, US timing zones, and morning early morning I'm sleeping. You know that, right? So
okay,
only free timing is between like 11 to till 3 o'clock. So might be we'll
okay.
go to weekend schedule.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. I think most of the time, if 3, 4 hours we can cover, in the weekends, so
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
can finish it up. That's not a big deal things. So okay, so for today what I'll do it, I'll walk you through that puppet introduction and some basic things. Okay,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
along with that I can give you the software details and as well as the docs for
Mhm.
the setups. So for tomorrow, meanwhile you
Mhm.
can download it, make it download by tomorrow, and we sit for tomorrow 3-4
Mhm.
hours and make this lab
Mhm.
setup first, and then we'll start go
Mhm.
further from that.
Mhm.
Okay, so I have a PPT ready for that, so I'll just walk you through that. Okay,
Mhm.
so shall we start?
So one quick
Right.
question for Puppet, it is an automation tool or automation scripting is there. So for this one, like shell scripting knowledge is required or not? Because I don't have any knowledge of shell scripting. I know the shell scripting little bit, but I don't have much knowledge, right?
No, not at all, not at all. It does not require a cell scripting
Okay.
knowledge. But yeah, this itself
Mhm.
is a, we call as a, it has a DSL, that's a domain specific language. You don't need to be a know to
Okay.
programming or something like that. Okay. Only if you are
Mhm.
if you are familiar with the resources here and how to order the resources,
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
sufficient for that. So it's neither you require a
Mhm.
programming knowledge or nor a cell scripting knowledge. Only thing is you should
Mhm.
be a good hands-on on a what you say Linux things. And as you said, you will work on a JBoss and the
Mhm.
Tomcat. So so you might be
Mhm.
good aware of how does it configures and what are the you do manually, right? So same thing what I will do
Mhm.
will convert your manual
Mhm.
work into the Puppet code.
Mhm.
So that will
Okay.
automate it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything else you have?
Okay, you can go ahead. No, not yet. You can go ahead. You can proceed.
Yes. So so let's start it. So just feel free to interrupt me anywhere if we have any doubt anywhere. Okay.
Sh Sure.
So yes. So during this training period, we are going to cover about this Puppet overview. So we are going to define what is the Puppet, how does this work, and the architecture, overflow, the flow. So this is the main things. Once you understand the flow, then it's very easy to understand the rest of the things. Then after that, as I said,
Mhm.
so we'll go and install and set up our lab. We make it one master and one agent. Mostly Puppet works in a
Mhm.
master and agent architecture. It works in the standalone also,
Mhm.
but industries on an industry corporate level, nobody use standalone Puppet. They always use the master and
Mhm.
slave kind of things. So they put
Mhm.
everything, every configuration things on the master and keep adding the agent and linking to that master.
Mhm.
So, so the second topics will be the configuration, installation of a Puppet master, set up the lab and everything. The third is
Mhm.
again the configuration, trees and the files means how the hierarchy of the Puppet. I mean, how the file structure of the Puppet. So there is different hierarchy and different file structure is there for the Puppet master certificates and all. So
Mhm.
after we discuss was this the main things is the language. That's the same thing I was talking about that DSL, it's a domain specific language. So this is a core part of the Puppet. So here we neither require
Mhm.
any programming language nor any shell scripting language, but we do write the code in the form of resources. That's called as a resources. Okay, so we have a
Mhm.
plenty of resources like a package resource we have a file resource, we have a service resource, we have a user resource. So we'll see each resource in the details, and this is the
Mhm.
main building blocks of Puppet. So within the
Mhm.
collection of resources, we are going to automate our JBoss, Tomcat, Apache, anything. Anything you think of, we
Mhm.
can automate with this kind of resources. So
Mhm.
we'll go and see the details of the resources. Okay. Then we are going to have there is a something like an advanced topic of a Puppet, like
Mhm.
what is the factor, how can we define the variables, and there is some conditional statement. The conditional statement is something
Mhm.
like based on something. Suppose you have a two flavor of Unix system. For an example, you have a Red Hat, you have a SUSE.
Mhm.
SUSE uses the Zyper, right? If you're aware of.
Yep.
So, so,
Mhm.
so based on that, but going to, if you write a module and your industries uses the both kind of Unix flavor of a system, then you need to differentiate whether
Mm. I'm not getting your voice, Afroz. You there?
mean. Hello. Okay, Ranjan. I think
Yeah, Afroz. Yeah.
I
Now.
just I yeah I just lost the connection. I mean audio connection.
Okay. 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 Yeah.
So I was talking about the conditional statements, like a two different flavor of a
Mhm.
Unix. How can we differentiate? So, so we have a
Mhm.
logic for that, and there is a something called we
Mhm.
have a templates. So we will going
Mhm.
to define about the templates. Templates is nothing but is a something like a dynamic thing. So in the file we have a two kind of
Mhm.
files here. We have a static file.
Mhm.
We have a dynamic file. The static file means
Mhm.
the content of the file remains same, and the
Mhm.
dynamic
Mhm.
file means the content of the file differs based on that, host to host, node to node. For an example, for your production server, if you want to give the different configuration for your NTP file, ntp.config, and for staging, you want to
Mhm.
give a different NTP configuration file, right? So for two different environment,
Mhm.
we have a two different files. So
Mhm.
we cannot make it a static file, rather we make it as a template, that's called as a dynamic file. And then we need to put the
Okay.
data on our request. So we'll see about these
Mhm.
templates. Then we have a something called
Mhm.
resource ordering. So resource ordering is something like Puppet does not work if you know some programming language. Some programming language work, even shell script works from top to bottom, right? It goes the first
Mhm.
line and then get executed, then it goes bottom, second line, third line, and so on. But Puppet does not work in the same fashion. We need to define the order. Which
Mhm.
resource has to go and execute first? Okay, so
Mhm.
that definition or those that ordering we are doing with the resource relationship. We have a one concept called resource
Mhm.
relationship. So these topics will be covering
Mhm.
under the Puppet advanced language.
Mhm.
And apart from that, we have something like, yes, how can we configure the roles, writing the different modules, and we can see some of the examples like any modules. If you're saying a Tomcat, I can write a module for a Tomcat. If you're asking for a JBoss, I can help in that. Only thing, you can give me the manual steps, I can automate for you. Okay, so we'll
Mhm.
do a lot of practicing, because the theory part, Puppet does not have a much of the theory things. Okay, only two three
Mhm.
concept we have, we need to understand those concepts. Once the concept is clear, moreover the
Mhm.
practice, moreover writing of modules. So modules is nothing but a
Mm-hmm.
Puppet code I'm saying. So we need to write a modules for Tomcat, we need to write a modules for JBoss, NTP, Apache, and so on. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see the what are the best practices, some error comes, so troubleshooting, and some standard error, how to troubleshoot those. So we can see those. So these all things moreover the practicing, and once the theory ends, so I can do one module for you. For an example, I'll give you some task on for you. You do and execute the task, and we'll show it. So moreover, we'll do the most practical things than a, I mean theory part. So, but 1 or 2 days,
Okay.
1 or 2 days of I mean, as I said, first the things we need to do, we'll set up the lab, then we'll go for a theory. Then 1 or 2 days we'll
Mm-hmm.
spend some time. If you are working on a weekend, first weekend we'll spend some
Mm-hmm.
time. I mean, most of the time on theory part. Once the theory part is clear, then we
Mm-hmm.
jump into the practical things, and most of the things time we do in the practical things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
so
So one more thing, I heard that like Puppet is like open source as well as an enterprise as well as, right?
correct. Both is there.
Yeah, because means like how our company will implement Puppet in our JBoss, I don't know exactly as of now, but I heard with my one of my colleague, he's saying that like we are using standalone something like that. So as I said, Puppet is completely new for me, so I'm trying to learning Puppet and how can I automate and how can I help in my project. So that's why I'm looking for this type of trainings. So
Correct.
the idea
So
is like
yeah,
that, which whether we are using open source or enterprise, like I'm not sure.
no. So you cannot decide on that part whether you are using the open source or enterprise. And I can tell you the
Mm-hmm.
what's the major difference between the open source and the enterprise. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
For a system administrator perspective, if you see the differences, I can see there is a not any difference between the enterprise and open source,
Mm-hmm.
except one that it gives the
Okay.
GUI, it gives the graphical user
Mm-hmm.
interface. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there it shows the how many nodes got added, how many nodes is for monitoring purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you can do some of the stuffs,
Mm-hmm.
adding the node, adding the classes, okay, from the GUI. Here you
Mm-hmm.
are doing it through the
Mm-hmm.
command line. Just only one difference, that's a GUI. Web interface is
Mm-hmm.
there in the enterprise, and we do not
Mm-hmm.
have a web interface in the open source. And 90% of
Mm-hmm.
the MNC companies, they are using the open source rather than a enterprise one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and for answering your question, a standalone Puppet, I think industries is not good suggestion. It's not suggested to have a standalone Puppet because we
Mm-hmm.
Puppet most of the times work on a master and slave configuration, agent one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. So we'll do the both thing. So as I said, we'll have a lab where we
Mm-hmm.
install we make it one VM as a master and another VM as an
Mm-hmm.
agent. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then writing the modules. We can see the both, whether master and slave and the standalone also, how the standalone works, how the master and agent works. Both way we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the third things you have asked, how you can automate the JBox with the Puppet, right? That's your question. How can you assist it?
Mm-hmm.
The assistance I'm saying. So if you're
Right.
working on a JBoss, so you are doing the manual things a lot of time and configuration, right? And the
Right.
consistency is a major challenges. Today you are doing
Mm-hmm.
something, some of you just walk out on the from your shift. Tomorrow, I mean next shift, your
Mm-hmm.
colleague comes and they are aware of the changes and he override your changes, right? There is
Right.
a possibility, right? So your all the
Right.
efforts for a day is go for void, right? So whole day effort is gone.
Right.
But Puppet ensure
Mm-hmm.
consistency. If somebody
Mm-hmm.
even do the local changes, Puppet every 30 minutes
Mhm.
it runs and is bring back the changes whatever you have done for that. Even
Mhm.
somebody, so it does not allow anyone manually to change it. If somebody change it
Mhm.
and then the puppet runs, it will bring back the whatever the state you have asked for. Okay, you are
Mhm.
saying service has to be running, Tomcat. Somebody came in your shift and
Mhm.
by mistake stopped the service and went for that,
Mhm.
So manually, until unless someone noticed that the service is not running, and they will go there and then start the service, right? But if you once you
Mhm.
define that, okay, puppet, go and start. The service has to be running every time. Once you define that, if somebody stop the service,
Mhm.
puppet will bring it back.
Mhm.
Okay, so this kinds of
Okay.
consistency it maintains. So we call it the state of the
Mhm.
system. We can define the state of the system, and Puppet makes sure the state of the system is persist as long as you alter the definition.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is the main,
Okay.
what do you say, the advantages, and that's the reason industries is moving in this Puppet and Chef. This is the beauty of a Puppet.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm. Okay.
Anything else you
So,
have?
like as you said, yeah, as you said, like we need two VMs. So, like, so I'm using my laptop, and in my laptop, I configured one of the VM virtual machine is there,
Mm-hmm.
and inside that Java Linux 6 version is there. So, how can we utilize it? Like, like that's why I'm not able to understand. Like, how can we use two VMs? Like, how can we configure?
Not two VM. So you have already Oracle virtual machine, right? So on the
Sorry.
top of the, you already have Oracle VM install and Red Hat is running on that, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll create one more. So VM nothing but we'll create one more box on the same VM. Okay.
Okay.
One or two, three. If you see my screen, you can see my screen. Okay. Yeah. I think
Yeah, I'm
I
able to see
shared.
your screen. Yeah.
So you can see there is a two VM is running here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I can see that. Look, is this? This is my agent.
Okay.
So I'm using the same VM. So this is my agent, and I have one is master.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So I'll do it for you also like this. So only one virtual machine, but I install the two box. So for that,
Okay.
I need this many software. I need something like one box machine. I need background and the virtual. What is the version of your virtual box?
Uh, just a minute. I don't know exactly the version and all those things. Uh, it's a VMware workstation. Just a minute. VMware actually.
Yeah, but what is the version? Can you go to help and about virtual box?
Just just a minute. Yeah, help about VMware virtual machine.
There you
Version is
can find out.
9.0.0 build 812388.
What is the version? 4.3 is 4.3 is mine. Yours?
License information, license type site, license 9.0.0 build 812388, something like that.
Uh, no, no. So where you have gone? Help. Go to help. Okay. Go to about virtual
Help
box,
only, yeah.
and there you can
Yeah,
see
help only.
version.
Uh, about yeah,
About
in help
virtual box.
I can see about VMware workstation, right? About
Yes, yes.
yeah, same. So I'm able to see like product information like the product is VMware at that workstation 812388.
Oh, your is workstation, right? Your is workstation, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
workstation. Yeah, right.
Okay. Let it be. So what we'll do, we'll try with the workstation also. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
simplify for you. I can give you the link of the software directly. So you just click and get it read, download. Okay. The software we require,
Okay.
and get it downloaded, and we will set up
Okay.
the lab.
Oracle VM VirtualBox.
So yes, I'll give you the Oracle VirtualBox.
Okay.
Then I need one CentOS images. Okay.
Okay.
Then I need one Vagrant, one software called Vagrant.
Okay.
Okay.
So this
It's
Vagrant is
hard.
for what?
Yeah, Vagrant is for I'll do the setup. This act as a wrapper between your image, CentOS image,
Okay.
and VirtualBox.
Okay.
For
Mm-hmm.
manually, how do you import the image? For you go to that VirtualBox and create a new, right? And keep adding this, and
Mm-hmm.
you can add the ISO image for that, right? So we
Right. Right.
cannot
Right.
do anything here. So this Vagrant is the tool we can
Mm-hmm.
automate with the command line here. I am
Mm-hmm.
using this. There is a something I have installed it.
Okay.
So everything you can do from the command line.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So everything you can do it from, and it very fast. For an example, if you want to install one ISO image on a virtual, but it takes hardly minimum half an hour, right? You need to do a lot of settings,
Mm-hmm.
and this, if everything goes
Mm-hmm.
fine, this will do it for 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I can help you in that. And background is also is nowadays is becoming a good technology also for
Okay.
automating the virtual, VM creation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I can give you the list of the software and get it installed, and then we'll walk you
Mm-hmm.
through that, setup and then the theory part.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And one more thing, how many weekends we need to spend for the complete training schedule?
Look, frankly speaking, this requires 20 to 24 hours.
20 to 24 hours
Yes.
for complete training, right?
Correct. So I usually do every 1 hours for every 1 hour or 1.5 hour for 2 weeks, 2 working weeks. So, but since in a
Okay.
weekend, you can stretch it for a 4 hours or a
Mm-hmm.
5 hours. So hopefully we can finish in
Mm-hmm.
4 weekends.
4 weekends, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So like once complete the course, like what are the tasks I will be able to do it? Like
So
automation of
once
JBoss deployment.
uh, anything, whatever you are doing it manually on your Linux machine, okay, you can
Mm-hmm.
automate with the Puppet.
Okay. Mm. Okay, Afros.